Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching Eastern Volleyball Network. My name's Graham Wren. I'm here with Kevin Knight. You know who we are. We're here to bring you a recap of the February 27th TVA Indoor Stand Men's Open Tournament. It was a great event. Why you couldn't be there, dude?
Yeah, no, I was a little busy and couldn't get up that way, but miss all of you, and I got to catch some of the matches online. But it looked like a lot of fun, and you guys had what, 20 something teams?
Yeah, we had 24. We were hoping to be joined by Brett Rosenmeyer tonight, but said something about being a little nervous or checking out of doing this recap video after his big wins and didn't want to jinx it or something like that. So
No, you know what it really is? It's the fact that his fellow Hawaii boys are already doing a YouTube channel called Out of System, and he doesn't want to be shown up by those guys. The Gage Worsley and maybe his brother, I think, as well.
oh, interesting.
Yeah. They've got quite the following. They're doing a pretty good job with their stuff. So
Very
anyway,
cool.
that's I guess we should go over the finishes, right?
Yeah, I'll start from the top. A big surprise to everyone there coming in first, Nick Drucker, Brett Rosenmeyer. Second place, Angel Dache, Chris Vaughn. The two third place teams, Christian and Nick Smith, as well as Andrew McMurray and Misha the Machine Freistetter. Fifth place, Dave Arnold, Cam Beans, Cortland Sharonborg, Brian Dirks. Seventh place, Joel Feldkamp, John Drake, and who was the other one?
Joey Gordon, maybe?
Yes, Joey Gordon, Ryan Ludwig. Four ninth place teams, Luke Park, Sean Regglesworth, Joe Agaroy, Ben Pong, Cam Rodriguez, Dalton Bundy, Graham Wren, Matt Helmick. 13th place, Kyle Price, Eric Troshin, Josh Lanier, Brian Conaker, Giora Sella, Colton Williams, Gene Wade, Aaron Campbell taking a 13th. 17th place teams, we had Chris Peters, Dan Hurley, Doug Thorne, Bryce McVeigh, James Moyer, Francis Becknell, Dallas Hitchens, Colin Register, Brett McMillan, Keegan Turner, Logan Smith, and I want to say it's Anthony Esch. I can't remember his first name. And then Joel Monasterly and Hunter Weinkoff. And something that I do want to talk about, you'll actually notice I only said 7 teams in that slot and not the 8 that you would expect. And that is because Jorge Tipiana and Anthony Rivera were no-shows.
Okay, interesting.
And there's a lot of theories running around out there about why this is. Maybe as Josh Lanier said over text to me, Jorge was more interested in other things and decided not to play volleyball. Maybe they had some conflict, or honestly, the leading theory for myself and I think most of the other Virginia Beach locals, because it's now the second tournament in a row where Joey Gordon and Ryan Ludwig's first round matchup has not shown up.
Got something to do with that, I guess.
Right. And I mean, that just has to be because of, the fiery nature of what that team brings to the table. And, just, I guess some teams thought they were ready for men's open and then they realized they didn't want the smoke. So,
yeah, I was going to say the smoke, and nobody wants to play mullet at 8 a.m. Me included. I lost to that mullet last year at 8 a.m. with Austin Banks. It's a brutal first draw.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, at this point, the mullet's almost acting like a cape. He's the Cape Crusader out there.
Yeah. So out of those finishes, I think a lot of the teams came in where we actually might expect them to. What are your thoughts on, I guess, how everybody did? Were there any surprises that you wanted to go over? Any highlights, lowlights?
I mean, first surprise was Drucker and Rosenmeyer winning. I think we went into the prediction video saying it was Angel and Chris's tournament to lose.
Just based on last year, that makes sense.
Right, and they cruised in. They pretty much cruised into the semifinal. Smiths took them to 3. in the semi, but Angel and Chris were victorious, and then Drucker and Rosemeyer ended up winning in 3. Big thanks to some hometown fans who were there cheering Brett Rosemeyer on, cheering for the shirt to come off very fervently for a full 2 sets, and the shirt did in fact come off in set 3.
So we know why they won set 3 then.
Yeah, exactly. No, he took the shirt off, and then I think they started up 3-0 or something ridiculous.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So immediately I got to ask, because I got to see a little bit of it, but it's different when you're there. Do you think this was more a letdown for Angel and Chris, them not playing up to their what we would imagine their potential to be? They've played together before, or do you think Nick and Brett have really brought it together? I mean, obviously it's some combination of both, but do you think it's more Angel and Chris not playing to where we would imagine, or do you think it's Brett and Nick really upping their game to the point where they were just the better team that day?
I mean, Nick and Brett went out there and absolutely, took care of business. Looked really sharp all day. Looked borderline unstoppable at times, and kind of to the highlight. In particular, Brett looked a fair bit better than he did even a month ago, and he looked good a month ago. When I played against Brett last month, he was doing a lot. He was swinging a lot, but it was a lot of kind of knowing the shoulder that he has. It was a lot of like 85% swings. He was doing a fair amount of chiseling the block. He was shooting a fair amount. Whereas here he was just blowing people's chests off all day.
Angel's known as a pretty good hard-driven digger. It's still a little surprising to me.
I mean, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Brett might hit a heavier ball than Nick. In all honesty, might have probably had the heaviest ball there. So
they're really unloading on that then.
Right, and that and he was unloading on it consistently, just about every play. So it was, that was something different that wasn't there a month ago.
I mean, I can't imagine. It's probably similar to the last final. I can't imagine there were a ton of blocks in that match.
Brett was also a pretty big factor at the net.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a stat for you, but I mean, he definitely. Chris knew he was there.
Okay.
I don't know if Angel did, but Chris knew he was there.
I was gonna say, was there any antics or any back and forth in that final?
No, not in the final. No, there were plenty of other antics that I'll get into at some point, but we'll just leave it at that for now.
Sure. So, any other highlight finishes that you'd like to go over from teams?
Andrew McMurray and Misha Freistater went through their side of the bracket just straight through, and then lost to
all boys.
Yeah, and then lost to Virginia boys in the semifinal.
I'm just saying, I had them going straight through, and I think I also had them losing to Nick and Brett. If they made it that far, so I feel good about that one, but I don't feel good about a number of the other calls I made.
Yeah, so they had a good day. Felt really good about how we predicted the Smiths. We predicted them to lose to Nick and Brett, and then to blitz through the. Let's see, they had to win They had to win 3 pretty difficult losers bracket rounds.
I just see those guys come down from another region to come play it. I always really appreciate it when somebody's willing to travel. Good to see those guys, really getting after it. But
yeah,
it's also nice to see that guys from our region can kind of hold our own.
Yeah, exactly. Felt really, really good about picking Cortland and Dirks correctly over Dave Arnold and Cam Beans, much to your chagrin.
I couldn't believe, and I texted Andrew about it. The day of, because we were texting back and forth while I was at the tournament. He's like, "There's no way that they had Cortland and Dirks over Cam and Dave," and I was like, "They absolutely did. Both of them did." And he's like, "What? Why?" And I was like, something about being a bigger blocker and meshing well, and and the guys in Annapolis not getting to play as much, and maybe a little bit of bias here. And he's like, "There's no way," and I was like, "They picked it, and you guys are right." So caps off. You guys got that upset. That was probably one of the bigger ones of the event, aside from the finals.
Yeah, and see, here's the other thing I want to highlight there. You talk about, oh, they picked it, but in the context of our show, Cortland doesn't get a vote on that, right? So we came to a head-to-head coin flip, and the volleyball gods spoke and said, no, you need to pick Cortland and Dirks. And the volleyball gods spoke at 12 serving 11 when they gave the Dirkie sandwich a trickle ace on a jump serve down the line for 13-11 and won 15-13.
Of all the times to hit one, that's the time.
Yeah.
We do got to point out that
big dad grunt to accompany it as well.
He has no shame in celebrating his points.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. We got to point out, because we've been so horribly and utterly wrong in so many of our prediction videos, that for once we were probably over 80%, or you and Cortland were probably over 80%.
There you go.
In your selections, and that's pretty impressive. The fact that you can go through matchup by matchup and nail so many of them, because volleyball, very much you get a lot of random upsets, or somebody's not feeling right that day, or a team doesn't mesh and completely messes up your entire bracket. But there's probably only 3 or 4 matches on the entire day that you guys didn't have right.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about that. I was happy for sure. It's nice when it all comes together and I don't have to hear a bunch of crap from a bunch of people.
Have to have the kid back on.
Yeah, for sure. Cortland loved doing it, and he was real excited about getting to do it. And he was. This actually isn't the first tournament where he texted me on the side and said, "Hey, I made a bracket. What do you think?" So I think we'll definitely keep bringing Cortland on for some input.
So what was the X factor in Cortland and Dirks beating Dave and Bryce, aside from the triple ace late in the game? Were they picking on somebody? Did they find a hole, or was Cortland just playing lights out? What was going on?
Cortland was playing pretty lights out. They started. If you look at total serve distribution over the entire match, it was probably 50-50. They started on Dave Arnold, went to Cam, went back to Dave a little bit, finished the match on Cam. I think at the end of the day, it just came down to, you've got a 6'7" dude at the net with a fast defender behind him, and the scoring options are getting shut down, and you're not, similarly limiting their scoring options. So the margin of error is razor thin, and
I can't get over just that. I thought there'd be enough of a serving and passing discrepancy between the two teams, but we've always talked about it. Dave is like twice the weapon in the wind than he is with dead air and in an indoor facility. So it probably took away a lot.
Yeah, he kept yelling at Dexter about something about turning the AC up or something, but I don't know what was happening.
He's probably wearing sweatpants and a white tee.
Yep, he was wearing his 3/4 cutoff navy blue sweatpants.
Love the guy to death. Love to see it.
Yeah.
So you told me off air that Gene Wade had a day.
Yeah, Gene had a day. Gene and Aaron got not 1 but 2 dubs on the day. It took a 13th, and I think it is what we predicted them to do as well, which is also heartwarming. But it's always nice to see some locals find some success.
Yeah,
and I don't know how many. Aaron hasn't been playing open tournaments for very long, so it's good to see. It's good to see someone he very well may have doubled his win total in men's open tournaments.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So that was really nice to see.
The other guys from Raleigh did kind of what we expected as well. They lost to the Smiths and took out a couple teams, and then I think they lost to somebody else. It's pretty decent. Maybe Cam and Dalton.
One other thing I think we should highlight is that in the roommate battle, Colton Williams was victorious. So I don't know what that meant for them when they got back home, but it can't have been pleasant for Brett.
So this is Brett Mcnaughton versus Colton Williams from Wilmington.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was their first round matchup, and Giora and Colton found a way to win. Like I walked over and they were playing on the court right before I was going to play my first match, and they're both tight games. You know, they both know each other and both really want to get that win. And Giora and Colton came out on top, which was pretty cool.
You love to see it.
Yeah,
It had to be the advantage of having court in the backyard. Beautiful.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you knew this, but Colton has only been playing volleyball for like 2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he actually started playing open tournaments in the second summer that he'd been playing beach, and it wasn't because he like had won a whole bunch of AA. He just decided that he wanted to play against the best, and that was the decision he made. So props to him.
Yeah, and you know we talked about how quickly Misha's gotten good.
Yeah,
but you know, Colton has gotten pretty good and pretty skilled as someone who's, you know, pushing 5'9", I would guess 5'9" or 5, you know, not really, doesn't really have a ton going for him physically. I mean, he's quick. He's a quick defender and he covers a fair amount of ground, but you know, he doesn't have the overbearing 6'7" presence that Misha has, and he's starting to figure stuff out really quickly. So that's really cool, and props to him.
So do you have the backstory on two kind of notable missing figures? I didn't see Adrian Husted signed up, and then Bryce Ernsberg, obviously. Any idea on those guys?
Adrian, I think was coaching.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just curious. Those are two names that I see a lot in Virginia Beach, and good guys, and you're always kind of curious what people are up to these days.
Yeah, I think until Pat is back ready to go, I don't know if we'll see Bryce.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, shout out to Pat Cronshaw coming back from. I think he got some arthritis taken care of in his shoulder or something along those lines, but he's back out there apparently nowadays and getting back in shape, and love to see it.
Another shout out to Pat Cronshaw for first tournament ever, and did a pretty good job running his tournament, despite what Cam Beans would say otherwise.
I heard it finished pretty late.
Yeah, it finished about 20 to 30 minutes late. He made a 20 to 30 minute boo-boo, and that was the difference in time. The plan was to finish right at 11. Finished at like 11:30.
Yeah, that's how it goes. If the open players don't have 5 open courts ready for them at all times, then the tournament isn't run properly. I know how it is.
Yeah.
And I've been one of the people that complains about it. So, and that's not going to change. That will never change. If you're not having finals at 4 p.m. and you don't have courts available at all moments, then you're doing a poor job. At least in the eyes of everybody else that's not running the tournament. Yeah,
there was a little snafu where I think Pat told somebody that they had probably until 3, and so that's a lesson for anyone out there. If you ever run a tournament, never give somebody a specific time. To show them the schedule, show them how many rounds they have, stick to your schedule, but then at the end of the day, it's up to them to be back on time, versus if you give them a specific time and then they're like, hey, we were back when you said we needed to be back, and then you're kind of in this spot. So like Josh Lanier decided that he needed some mid-game fuel at Denny's of all places. Questionable. So then we were trying to scramble and get one of the other games going, and there was a team missing from each of the other games because everyone else had planned accordingly, and was
Yeah. So,
but other than that, he was busting his tail all day. He was all over the place, nonstop.
So, were there any other points that you wanted to cover about the event?
Yeah, I want to talk about. We talk about people coming out kind of not quite in season and maybe not quite looking in form. I wasn't expecting the reffing to have taken such a dive either, guys. We got to step it up. I've seen
what did Cam Rodriguez do?
and see, that's the thing. I didn't even see Cam Rodriguez reffing, which I know we reffed at least 2, if not 3 matches. For those 2 teams that but hopefully Dalton was there helping him out and keeping him in line. But so we had a controversy, and this wasn't really a refereeing fault necessarily, but in the Cortland match versus the Smiths, Cortland dug a ball up into the ceiling and went over and hit one of the space heaters that's up in the ceiling, and then kind of jumbled around, and then it fell right back, like it was shooting off to the side of the court, and then came right back into the middle of the court. The rally kept going, and Cortland and Dirks ended up winning the points. Then obviously a huge controversy ensued, right? And ended up replaying the point, talking with, kind of talking about it afterwards. We decided that the ball should have been ruled out of play because the space heater is up in the ceiling, but it's past the boundary of the sand. So technically the ball left the sand and was like over top of the walkway on the side.
Smith still won the game.
Smith still won the game, but they did not win the replay, so things got testy real fast.
They are known for letting you know what they think at all times.
Yeah, no, it was real funny because then, Christian is the more level-headed of the two, with Nick being a little more fiery. Yeah. And so Nick goes back and within the next 5 minutes has ripped off 3 or 4 aces from the service line. And after each one, right, that is going off of a limb and into the wall or up into the ceiling and stuff, he's shouting, "Is that area playable? Is that area playable?"
Just giving it to him.
Yeah, which is all-time great lines. And Cortland was getting a little frustrated, and Dirks, in the most dad way possible, they get back around, and he then turns around and shithouse blocks him 3 or 4 times in a row. And like does it without saying the words. It's like, oh, there we go, Cortland, we're doing great. Let's keep it up.
What a great partner. I love that guy.
Yeah, so that was really funny to see. But reffing snafus, now that we're getting back to it, in Brett and Nick's match versus Andrew and Misha, that match is up on YouTube. Go to 30 minutes in and you can see this play. Misha hits a ball, Brett stabs it, and it's a line drive back towards Nick, right above the sand. It very clearly short hops Nick, and then he kind of scoops it up, and Brett literally half-heartedly just kind of pokes it back over the net and starts to clean sand off of himself. And then Dave and Cam are over on the side, and they're like, "Why'd you guys stop? What are you guys doing?" And so then all So then of course Brett's body language changes real fucking fast. Nick still claims to this day that he in the moment he actually thought he got it. And then after this play is over, there's many repeated gesturings of how exactly Nick played the ball by Nick, and then by Andra and Misha, both of them miming swipes at the ground. It's quite humorous, actually.
That's pretty funny. How did the play end up?
They credit to Dave and Cam, and mostly because I think Nick decided that he just kind of said, "Fuck you, you can have the point. I'm going to beat you anyway," because things did get pretty heated after that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But they did get the call right, and they awarded Andrew and Misha the point.
Gotcha.
Another reffing snafu, though, in Josh Lanier and Brian Conaker's match against the Smiths. Josh goes up to hit a ball, and Christian shithouse blocks it straight into Josh's body, hits off Josh's body, and goes into the net, and Josh then covers it. And then,
this is swing, block, hits into the net.
Plays. Oh, and by the way, probably because it was his second contact, it was probably a double as well. But okay. and then I believe Conaker takes the ball. So then they all stop playing, and they're like, "What?" And then Gene Wade unbelievably confidently tells them that it was one motion by Josh Lanier.
Wow. So they just lose it at this point.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Gene, I love you, buddy, and congrats on the wins, but you got to step the reffing game up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has been a good recap. I would have loved to see my Raleigh boys break through and take home the win, but it seems like Misha can't quite get over that hump at the moment. But hopefully he will at the next one. I think I just need to perpetually pick him to be in the semi and never pick him to win until he does it. I think that's my move from now on.
Is that your move?
I think because he's got the ability. I don't know what exactly is holding back. If it's a physical thing, blocking and getting served all day long, or what's going on. But he's made plenty of semis and plenty of finals, and I think he might have won one or two, but he doesn't close on it. And so, really consistent player though, and somebody that I'm definitely going to try to play one with if I can get back healthy.
Yeah. Everyone, if you don't know Misha, make sure to go say hi. A big talking point, big conversation starter. Ask him about whether he played professional ultimate frisbee. He's not shy about it. He really wants you to know. Make sure you bring it up.
Super over the top about it. Makes frisbee motions while he's warming up.
Yeah, I mean, he was wearing like 5 different frisbee jerseys on Saturday. It was ridiculous. Like frisbee warm up, frisbee jersey. He was changing shirts as often as Brett Rosenmeyer to show off how many different jerseys he had.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully we see most of these guys back out of the next one, and I'm probably going to try to make it out myself, if for nothing else, to bake cookies and hang out.
Yeah. 2 more things to talk about. Sorry. One, we picked Joey Gordon and Ryan Ludwig to get 9th, and they did get 7th. They beat Joe Agarroy and Ben Pong. Before we forget, well done, boys. Tip of the cap, well earned. No matter how loud you were in the gym, we always knew where you were. And then the kind of similarly, James Moyer and Francis Becknell did not. They got a 17th, but I don't think it was indicative of their ability or how they performed. That Francis just started playing beach tournaments, so he doesn't have any of the points. And like their draw this time was Cam and Dalton round 1, and then their elimination match was Joey Gordon and Ryan Ludwig, and they took Cam and Dalton to 3. And I don't know if they went to 3 with Joey and Ryan or not, but it was also a very close battle as well.
Gotcha. So this is actually a good point to end on, and that is, especially early on when you're starting to play these kind of open level events, you're going to have finishes that kind of are unexpectedly high, and you're going to want to attribute that to you've gotten way better, and so now you should finish high. It's probably not entirely true. And you're also going to have finishes where you go 0-2 and you like, I shouldn't even be playing this game. Like I literally just went to a tournament and didn't win a game. And that's also not true. Sometimes you just get matched up with really tough opponents that don't have a lot of points, or it just works out, or somebody got upset. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Just keep working and practice, and keep trying to show up and beat people that would be considered better than you before the tournament. It's kind of how we do it. I think I definitely used to get a full head when I would go 3-2 at a tournament and take a 5th. And I'm like, all right, from now on I'm only taking 5ths or higher. And that never happened. And I get really low when I go 1-2 or 0-2, because I'm like, what am I doing here? And like, well, the 3 seed got upset because they came out sleeping, and I had to play the 3 seed like the moment that I lost the first match. And so it's like, you got to realize that the indicator of your true skill is if you were to take a sample of 10 tournaments and then take the finishes out of those, then that becomes more indicative of who you are as a player.
Right. And I would say it's 10 tournaments where you're seeded relatively accurately. Yeah. And Francis, unfortunately, doesn't have those finishes. For the record, I do think it's worth going to 1 to 2 AA tournaments if you can stomach it, and just sandbagging and getting that W, especially with the AVP America point system, how it is, and kind of messed up.
Just to seed yourself higher.
Just to seed yourself higher.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been fun. I'm glad that you got to fill me in on what was going on, because I do miss everybody, and it seemed like a fun event to go to. And I'm sure the next one will be equally as fun. So hopefully most of the guys come back out, and hopefully I'll make it up for it.
Yeah. Last thing, a couple other items I'm going to mention because I can never stop talking.
All right.
So James and Francis stayed with me, and James actually provided me with some information about our nomadic friend Cameron Beans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, who
From the Midwest.
We've been kind of joking he's no longer part of the Mid-Atlantic or no longer part of the Atlantic region, and the fact is he's not part of the Atlantic region, and because Maryland is technically considered part of the Northeast.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
That's funny. So you can make the top 5 video in the Northeast if Fraser makes one.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. And standing invite to James Moyer to come on and do one of our hot takes, hotter bakes at some point.
Oh heck yes.
Yeah. So next time you want to do it, James, let us know. We'll make it happen.
All right.
That's all I got.
All right, sweet.
Oh wait, no. Okay, I'm good.
If you like what we're doing, give us a like and subscribe. It really helps us out. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching.